Hey guys, Morgan's Maintenance. Today's tool review is going to be some more products from Klein, and they did send me these out. I'm going to market paid promotion, but they're not paying me in any way, not making me say certain things. I can say whatever I want to about the product. They just sent me these out to test them, to give them my feedback, and I'm going to give it to you as well. So I'm just letting you know up front, I did not buy these. As you can see behind me, I've been running Milwaukee Packout for a long time, really since the very beginning, back when it was Milwaukee. Really, DeWalt and Rigid were about the only three options. Of course, now you've got Flex and Tough Built, and now Klein ModBox as an option. And some of the newer options out there, you see the features on them and you're like, man, I'd like to see some of those in my platform. But maybe you're like me. You know, I run Milwaukee Packout, but the way that I use my system, everything doesn't necessarily have to interlock. I could have a stack of ModBox, a stack of Tough Built, and then a stack of Packout in my truck, because I basically use them as snapping places where I can lock them together in my truck just so they don't move around. But I typically grab stuff piece by piece out of my truck and take it into the job site, so it's not going to affect me much to have different stacks. But if you're somebody who runs one big stack all the time, you wheel it in and out and all those things, then it becomes a problem maybe for you to change, because then you got to buy a whole new system. So that would be up to you whether or not that's going to be the case. So they did send me several of their products. One of the ones that I specifically requested was this single drawer unit, because I don't think there's any other options for this out there. I think this is something that a lot of people are looking for in their platform. I would really especially like to see something like this on the rolling cart, but I'll talk about those things as I get into the video. So I have the single drawer unit. I've got their rolling toolbox along with some of the accessories that mount onto all the mod boxes. And that's another thing that I like about the Klein, is I can do some of the same things with my Milwaukee system, but I have to buy it third party, or I have to modify my packouts in a way to make those things work. Klein is taking care of that from the get-go. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the products that they sent me. We'll go over the features of them. I'll share with you the cost, where you can possibly get them, and then again, you can make the decision if it's a right fit for you. So let's go ahead and jump into these. Let's start out first with the rolling box. So you can see here I've got the Klein right next to the Milwaukee. Size-wise, very comparable. The main thing I think that would be interesting for most people is going to be that height, and it's right around, say, 16.5 inches, maybe a little less than that, but I would say 16.5, just to make sure you've got clearance in the back of your truck if you've got some sort of a cover or something like that. But not a lot of difference between the two in those categories. Other than that, for the most part, they're exactly the same as far as you've got your bulk storage options whenever you open this up, and then whenever I open up the Milwaukee. Of course, I think the Milwaukee did come with a small tray. I've since got rid of that. I think I gave it to someone to use because I didn't need it. But this one just comes empty, just like this, or at least mine did. Storage wise, very comparable. You can put the same kind of stuff in here. So basically bulk tools, whatever it is, if you're going to have it on the bottom of your stack. I tend to use mine for stuff that I don't really need that often, because I don't want to get it out. And again, that's why I said the first company to me that comes out with a single drawer on the bottom of a rolling box like this, I think it would sell like hotcakes, but that's just my opinion on things. You can see you do have the weather gasket going around the outside, so it is a weatherproof box, the same as the other options that are out there. So in all those ways, very similar to that of the Milwaukee. But how is it different? The big difference to me would be the handle area. If we slide it around back here at the back, you can see on the Milwaukee, that handle does not come off on mine. Again, I'm not sure if the newer versions do. They do have options where you can buy third-party things, buy little clips where you can take it in and out, and that becomes a deal breaker for a lot of people, because you can't put it in your truck with a cover on your bed with that handle in place. Well, Klein has already taken care of that from the get-go. You can see unlock, pull to release written on these. Maybe if I zoom in a little bit closer. So all you have to do to remove this handle, let me go ahead and I'll drop it down and get it to its lowest point. So that's what it is at its lowest point if you leave it inside of there. But all I've got to do to unlock this is slide these out, and now this whole entire handle slides out and comes out just like that for storage. I can now fit that in my truck bed, hopefully with my cover still on there if I had that option. And then I can just stow this handle with me, put it somewhere else, whatever it might be, to the point of where I can just slide it back in whenever I get to the job site and move my box wherever I want to. So slides in super easy. You slide it back in, push these in, lock back in place, and then now again, I'm just going to press this button, hold it up, I've got the option now to, again, take my handle in and out. So the removable handle allows you better access, put it in your truck to get it to the job site, but then once you get to the job site, once you've rolled it in and you remove the handle out of the Klein, it becomes a better feature even with that, because you can see here with my Milwaukee, if I've got tools like saws and things like that in my bottom box, I can't lift up and get anything out of that bottom box because this hits the handle. Can't access it unless I remove all these things in order to get inside that box. Versus the Klein, since that handle is removable, I can get it to the job site, wheel it inside, remove the handle again once I'm in there, and then now if I need to access something inside my rolling box, if it's a bigger tool, even with something as tall as this single drawer unit, I can rotate this back and gain access now to the rolling box and get out whatever tool it is that I'm wanting to use, and then put it back away, add my handle back in, roll it out of the job site, put it in my truck. Overall, just being able to remove the handle is a really nice feature. So the next difference to me as far as to separate the two, and I don't know that it's a real big game changer for someone, but just to let you take note of, the Milwaukee wheel feels a little bit more plasticky to me than that of the Klein. Again, I've got the older Milwaukee box. I don't know if the newer one's any different. But this one definitely feels more like a plastic. The sides feel a little rubbery, but the top feels plastic. The Klein wheel feels like more like a rubber dolly type wheel, and it's pretty much the same all the way around. And then it's also a little bit bigger wheel. So I think the Milwaukee is a 8 3/4 inch and the Klein is a 9 3/4. So that's another difference that stood out to me as I was just comparing them side by side. And then another difference to me that I noticed is that the Klein, as far as the handle on the rolling toolbox, you have some slots here along with some slots down here to allow for adding accessories such as levels, pipe, whatever it is, maybe even a broom if you're taking it into the job site. You always have to find a way with the Milwaukee to make that work, or buy third-party rail systems or whatever it might be. You can see here I'm taking my Stabila 4-foot level, slides in there, stows in there, super nice. So now I can carry that in, frees up that hand. Or you also have two slots on the side. Maybe you got a pipe bender, piece of pipe, some fish sticks, whatever it is that you're taking in, again, a broomstick, whatever it might be, another slot for that as well. So again, all those are now within that rolling toolbox handle, kind of secure, so I can take that in along with whatever else I'm taking in, and it frees up my hands from having to carry those two materials. So I really like what Klein has done right there. But that's their rolling box. Again, $140 with all those options on it. Now let's talk about the next product that they sent me, which is their single drawer unit. I'm going to stick it on top of the rolling box to show you the latching mechanism. So basically you set it on top, slide it back in, locks into place, and then you've got this one lever. If I wanted to remove this off, lift this up, pull it out, then I can lift that off, take it to wherever I want to move it. I really like the locking mechanism on the Klein mod boxes. It's very similar to that of the Packout, where I've got the one spot where I've got to unlock and latch it, unlock and latch it. I like that better than the ones that have the two on the sides, because this is just a one-handed operation. I don't have to use two hands. I think Klein really did something well with that. This single drawer unit is going to cost you $140, so it's pretty comparable in price to those of other brands out there. But other brands out there, as far as I know, as far as when I'm filming this, I don't know that there's a single drawer option out there that is this size anyways. I think Tough Built might have a single small drawer, but this Klein is the only one that I've seen that is like this. And the main reason why I was interested in trying this out is because I've been looking for something like this for the back of my truck for certain tools where you just can't fit them inside of anything other than something the size of this rolling toolbox. But I don't want to have to unstack things to be able to get in there and get to it. I want to be able to just open a drawer and grab it. Like I said, I think if somebody would take something like this, put wheels on the side, make it your rolling box, I think that would be a winner out there. So any company that comes out with that, I think you're going to have a hit with that. So as far as how the Klein drawers work, this is the single drawer. You have this locking mechanism here that keeps your drawer from opening and closing. In order to release that, press in this red lock up here, which you can also put a padlock through to secure it. You have another padlock spot over here. You press this in, slide down that bar, it slides and stays in here, and now I can open and close the drawer. It slides very easy, not a lot of effort involved in that. You press it in, it doesn't latch and stay latched like maybe some other ones do, but it does kind of have a spot in there once you click it in. Unless you kind of put a little bit of force on it, it doesn't open back up. So I do like that as well. Depth wise on the drawers, if I stick this tape measure down in there, the bottom of it you can see is at 10 3/4 on the sides. Now the middle section for reinforcement, it's a little bit skinnier drawer or less depth on the drawer, and you're only looking at 5 inches on this middle slot right here. They do provide you with these 2 dividers that just slide in and out. And here's the main thing that I wanted it for. I wanted it to be able to hold tools like my brad nailer here. So I have my M18 brad nailer. So if you've got a brad nailer, a battery powered one of this size, this is fitting down inside that deepest drawer. Again, if I go over here to the middle section, that is a lot shallower. That's not going to close with it like that, so that's not going to work. But this right here, this M18 brad nailer, that's about the tallest tool that you can fit in here. But of course it also has these dividers that are removable. If you want to remove those, you can take those out, and then if you don't mind laying your tools down and having them separated, you can obviously take other tools, like here's the 16 gauge Hitachi nailer that I have, slide them in there. And again, just imagine this being on the bottom of your stack. Now I can just open that drawer, get tools out that I would normally keep in one of these, and I don't have to take everything off the top in order to get inside of those. So again, this is basically a big tool drawer option that not a lot of other companies out there, I don't think of any, have something like this. So I'm glad to see that Klein brought this out. And then the last feature that I really like about the Klein, and then the accessories that they sent me, are the fact that they offer accessories that you can buy in store, and they automatically fit on your mod boxes. You don't have to do any kind of, modifications or anything like that. A lot of what you're going to see here, I can make it work on my Milwaukee Packout, but I've had to buy things off Etsy. I've had to buy individual things from other people, 3D printed, whatever it is, and then I've had to modify my Milwaukee Packout boxes as well. I don't have to do anything. This is plug and play from the store. This one is the case adapter rail attachment. The part number on that is 54875MB. So maybe you've got some of the mod boxes. I've recently had some reviews for different sets of mod box cases like this. This is essentially a rail adapter that accepts these cases right here. For $10 you can get this, and all you've got to do to clip it onto your rail system, you have this lock mechanism right here. You slide it on, snaps in place, and then you can take your mod boxes. You can see the tabs here and there. You just line those up. That locks that in place, and now all my mod boxes secured to the side of my mod box, my bigger mod box. And now I can take these with me, and again take off these 2 if I want to take those to a job that I'm working on, and then just slide these back on and take off the top one if that's all I want to take off. Take off all 3. Again, great options in my opinion. If you're running these, it's just a big system that ties together, and again, the more things you buy of something, the more that it's going to work together. So that's a good option in my opinion. Then the last accessory that they sent me is a magnetic rail for their mod box. It's a magnetic strip rail attachment. Part number on that is 54819MB, and it is essentially just a magnetic pad. Again, the same lock mechanism right there, the latch mechanism. You just slide these right over top the rails on your mod box. You can then do that, snaps in place. Take your favorite tools that you like to use the most. It's magnetic, slide them on there. Easy access for those. And again, they sell other attachments. They sell a cup holder, they sell a parts bin that fits on the side, a rail part where you could maybe clip your impact or your nail guns or something like that on the side. So lots of options, but again, I like the fact that they are already built in. You can buy them in the store. You don't have to go to some specialty person to make you something. Really good options from Klein. So yeah, guys, those are the Klein ModBox accessories and boxes that they sent me, along with that single drawer. I really like them. I think that they're a good option. I really like the locking mechanism. It's very similar to that of the Packout. You got one handle or one latch that you undo. It slides on and off. It's not the 2 sides. I really like that. I think their rolling toolbox is probably above the Milwaukee version that I have anyways, because of the removable handle, because of the ability to put on different accessories and things like that. So if you're getting into a system, you might want to definitely take a look at it. But again, I'm not pushing you in any direction. I'm just sharing with you my thoughts and my feedback on these, as I've also tried the Milwaukee Packout as well, but ultimately it's a decision for you to make. But hopefully this video will help you in some way. Hopefully it's useful, but you guys stay safe. Have a blessed day. See you on the next video.